Was in the back.
Hey everybody. Oh, that's all we're saying? Okay.
How you doing?
How you doing? Welcome to the daily vlog. This is Layle.
And I'm Jay.
And that is William.
Hello.
So today, you know, I've always wondered, like, if you wear a cowboy hat or you wear a hat, you know, whether
Does that make you a cowboy? Or like if you wear a baseball hat, does that make you a baseball player? Or in my case, if you wear a pirate hat, does that make me a pirate?
If you wear a baseball cap backwards, does that make you just look young and stupid? But anyway, you know, there's, you know, I was like, you know, do you wear a cowboy hat inside? Or, you know, what do real cowboys do?
See, I think real cowboys know you're supposed to take your hat off when you come inside.
I was going to say every real cowboy I've ever known, and I can say I've known real cowboys that ride horses and, you know, wrangle cattle. They always took their hat off in the house.
But what about like in the stock show? Like when you go to the stock show, everybody's sitting around and watching the rodeo. It's indoors, but they all got their cowboy hats on.
Well, that's an arena.
Yeah.
That's a little bit different.
Yeah, I was going to say, I've never been to the stock show.
So it doesn't have
house.
anything to do with the roofs? It just has to do with the size of the room? Or
I think it's more of an etiquette thing.
Here's
about
the rule. If a cow can walk around in there, you can wear your hat.
Oh, okay. Well, so,
yeah, that's a good rule.
But so if you come into lunch, if you come into lunch at the saloon,
Yes.
you take off your hat?
Yeah.
Normally, although I have seen pictures of cowboys with their hats on and they're kind of playing with them while they
And of course, you know, like 50
I
years
look
ago,
so silly.
you know, 50 years ago, a man was expected to wear a hat all the time.
Yeah.
In the 50s.
even at the stock show.
And
And a similar
so-
style to the one you have.
That's exactly right. And so I was wondering the protocols on that. Did he wear those inside, or you know?
Well, at least in film, I always think of like the guy in the 50s or whatever that was the salesman, and he left his little housewife at home with the kids. He would grab his jacket and his hat as he left. At least from film references, which, you know, as we all know, films aren't necessarily very historically accurate. But when I think of film references, they put their hat on when they leave.
Like
Well,
Cary
it's,
Grant, he always took his hat off when he's coming inside. And
Yeah, well, and that's why they have hat racks.
And then you got Jody.
And of course, nowadays they don't even have hat racks hardly.
No,
No,
really.
that's
That's because many of us realize we're balding and we want to cover it up at all times.
Well, see, I think that's another part of it is that then they figured, yeah, you know, is he or isn't he bald? Who could tell?
What kind of reaction do you guys think I would get if I wore this to like some really inappropriate place, like church?
What? Well, they would say.
Or even the grocery store.
That's
What do you
that
think
poor
people...
Layle. She always wore she was always on the short bus.
No, at church,
I never rode the bus.
at church, I think it's okay for a woman to wear a chapeau.
Oh, okay.
If you were a guy wearing a pirate hat, someone would probably...
So what was the cutoff date where guys stopped wearing hats? I mean, when's the last?
In the 60s?
You know,
70s.
More regular?
you know that John F. Kennedy, he wore a hat to his inauguration.
Yeah. Not that I was there.
And I'm trying to think if Johnson or Nixon did.
Johnson had a cowboy hat, you remember?
Oh no, he had the classic. My grandpa had the exact same hat that Lyndon B. Johnson had. It was always around, and I always remember my grandfather wearing a hat. And so.
Well, it's funny because I used to have dreadlocks, and I wore hats a lot more when I had my dreadlocks. Not just ones that I could put all my hair up, but just hats in general. It seemed more appropriate because.
Well, and then like when I was in my 30s and in the 80s, as I was like kind of a gothy and
A gothy?
and so I would wear a beret always. You know, I was an artiste, so I was
Ooh, a
always wearing
beret.
a black beret and an overcoat.
You guys,
And,
check out my hat, huh? Isn't that pretty cool?
Yeah,
Pretty
yeah.
awesome, isn't it?
Yeah, Dave's hat's pretty special there.
Sweet.
Like that one.
I love it.
But, you know, the good thing about
I got his brain here. Take it back.
Dang it.
Where the hell did this come from?
Oh, you know what? It's not really affecting how my clients
So I
treat me.
don't think people are as classy anymore, too. I mean, like you see people wearing baseball caps all the time. They don't take them off or anything. They just...
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
wear 'em.
Not as stylistic. See, like I watched a PBS special the other day on Jackie O, and she had some really nice hats.
Oh yeah,
Beautiful
pillboxes.
hats.
I mean, you had to have
Yeah.
pillboxes match your stilettos.
Very
That's
nice
right.
hats.
Yeah.
Well, tell us about your hats. Thedailyvlog.com. Leave us comments. Watch other videos.
And there's old hatless Dave.